All right, welcome back to the Square on Table podcast, where we talk about all things nerd related, pop culture, and anything else in between, whatever we want to talk about, honestly. But today we're going to be talking about the awesome, well written Star Wars series called Andor, Season 2 specifically, first 6 episodes. And boy, was it a slow crawl, but a good crawl. Let's get into this. So, Marcus, how are you feeling about the first 6 episodes?
First thing is, I don't even look at them as 6 episodes. I look at it as part one and part two because
There.
we get 3 episodes a week, which I love, by the way. I could sit there and watch them. I was sitting there, yes, keep it going, keep it going. But
Keep it going.
I like the direction they're going in, and I like how they picked up right where we left off. So if you like
Okay.
watch the first season, they recap, of course, like every show
Of
does,
course.
but it picks up like a little bit of time. It's been some time in between.
It's been like a year.
Yeah, it's been a year, but I like how I think this is what's going to be happening. How each arc is a year, because now with the second part, it's 3 years before the Battle of Yavin. So we getting closer to Rogue One, which Diego Luna was like, when you watch this show and when you finish it, go watch Rogue One immediately after because you'll have a different view about outlook on it. And I was like, I see what he's saying because it's slow, like you said, and that's what I like. It's like a slow build, but it's these nuggets and this all this little stuff that they're doing, and it's this side and this person's playing this person. Like basically everybody is playing somebody in this game. The war, which people gotta understand. And I think this is why a lot of people like tripping about it. Oh, it's so slow. All the romance. And I'm like, bro, y'all gotta remember, these are still regular people. These ain't Jedi and all that. These are like people like us that work everyday jobs, gotta pay for their crib. And then you got the people who actually trying to fight a war. And this is the things that happen when you fighting a war and you're trying to rebel against a fascist power, which in this case is the Empire, which ironically we both representing tonight. But
We
we're
don't
not with
condemn
the Empire.
any of
Yeah,
the stuff they do.
yeah,
We're not like, yeah.
yeah. I really the direction season two is going in so far because season one was exactly felt like exactly what it was supposed to be. It was like that heist. We got a big score. This is the setup of the rebellion. We're gonna show you how the people, like how Mom Mothma and all them are doing their part. But it felt just like it was supposed to be like a heist.
Yeah.
Just send this up for the big. So to see this, we're getting more of the politics, the what's the word I'm looking for? Like the hierarchy of the empire and them bending the rules, the corruption, the abuse of powers. I mean, you just put it out there. You saw in the first episode the situation with Bix and one of the Imperial officers. That's something that happened in real like warfare
Yep.
in pretty much every war, and it was really big in like the Vietnam War. Stuff like that is wasn't uncommon, and I think me and you talked about it before the pod. How people was like, "Oh no, that the Empire wouldn't be like that." I'm like, y'all do know that George Lucas like he basically made the empire to mirror any kind of fascist group like from
Yep.
the world from all the wars. Like they basically like the Nazis and all like all of that. He is legit like cut and paste. It's people are saying that because of what Star Wars has been for so many years and what we haven't seen, but at the same time they don't understand that all along this is George Lucas' vision. He just didn't have the means and the technology and the people to back him to make all of this happen. So he didn't get to get this far to write this because he stopped after the
Yeah.
prequels. So now people are getting more in depth into what George's whole idea was about the politics, the hypocrisy of warfare, guerrilla warfare, the corruption, the spies playing this in, because even with the rebels aren't all like squeaky clean. They get down
No,
and dirty. They have to
Saw
do some stuff
Gerrera.
that they're not proud of. You know what I'm saying? So it's like all these things factor, and it even shows you like how these people are pulled into this stuff either from a certain age. They're pulled into it where these are people who are considered high class, but
Yeah,
they're literally risking it all because they're tired of like being under this rule of a unfair, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm losing my words tonight, but you know what I'm trying to say.
yeah, an
So
unfair like power or something like
yeah,
that.
unfair power, yeah, because people got to realize at this point in the timeline, the Emperor and Vader have been ruling over the galaxy for a good, what, 20, 30 years now? So, what, look, yeah, like 20, it's been 20 years. So, it's been 20 years that they've been doing everything. So, people are fed up and they're like, we're not taking this anymore.
We ain't about this no more.
And I love how, like, that that image is painted right at the end of episode 6 with Bix. Andor was walking out of the base, like little building. And at first I was like, oh snap, Bix went crazy and she jeopardizing everything. But then when my boy Andor came into the frame, I was like, hell yeah, spark the damn rebellion.
Right? That was a cool scene. Like when I saw her do that thing, I thought like when she was with the guy, I thought it was one of her like visions or her dreams. I was like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
this ain't real. And then it wasn't until like I saw Andor there that I was like, oh, that was some real shit. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
cool. You said a lot of like stuff. You really summed up pretty much a lot of the episodes in a real little small sound bite right there. But what I'll add to what you said is this season, well, really season one, but like really evidently in season two, it shows different people in their like levels of where they're at with the rebellion. You know what I mean? Like, when you have Mothma, sorry, Mothma, you have when you have her like she's not willing to really get her hands dirty yet. She's trying to do it through like bureaucracy and stuff like that and get people on her side and try to work through the like power system. They gotta get people to join her side. And then
Mm-hmm.
you have Lutheran who's like double crossing people. Hey, if the what's the name? Is it Gorgon? I
Yeah.
forget their name. If they burn, it's gonna be a beautiful flame. I was like, geez. When I heard that, I was like, gee, you don't care. As long as the rebellion is going, you
I
don't
was like, dang,
care.
brother, you almost worse than the Empire.
I was like, woo, when he said that. But I felt him in season one when he was saying like something about he's fighting for a sunset he won't see. When I heard that, I
And
was
that's
like, he
deep.
mean business.
That's deep because that means
I was
I'm
like,
doing whatever I
woo.
gotta do. Yep.
That's why I
That's
was
what.
like, him and Saw Gerrera on the same page.
Yeah.
Like they
That's when
both,
you
they
know
Saw
you.
Gerrera never stopped fighting. He's
That's when
always
you
been
know.
a
Always
revolutionary.
since the Clone Wars, this man 30 years deep into this. Like,
His whole career. But continue. I know you were going to try to say something. I just had to finish
nah,
my
I was
little.
just saying that means it just shows like these people are really ready to die for the
Mhm.
cause. And even with Saul, I love like the psyche, how they get like into where these people at psychologically
Yeah.
and they meant like mentally, because with Saul when he had that whole speech with the dude who was with Andor and them and
Yeah.
was helping them with the engineering, and like he said it's my sister, so it's like he's still holding on to that tragic moment that happened to him losing his sister when they was fighting in the Clone Wars, and she's still like a metaphor in his mind, like with things, and that's I guess that's what keeps him somewhat sane,
Yeah.
and what keeps him like fighting because my sister was fighting for this same war and the war is not over yet, and until it's over, until I know it's over, that's when I could be at ease, which we all know happens in Rogue One because I know now that they got the plans, the mission's gonna be carried out. I'm done.
I'm
So
good.
it's like that's you get to see more because like when we first got Saul in Rogue One, we knew him from Clone Wars, but
Yeah.
now we get to see this version of him and how he got to who he is in Rogue One. So we slowly seeing like those moments that made him like the guy that's, oh, we don't want to mess with Saul. Like now
Exactly.
I see why when they went to Jeddah, like why people was like, oh yeah, it's Saw Gerrera and his militia. I'm like, oh, that's why, because Saw don't play.
He don't play. Like when he was doing the speech with him, and he was talking, and that from that same scene, he told me, I think he said you have to be insane to rebel or something like that, or to be crazy to
Yes,
rebel. And that
he
was another
did.
bar that I was like, that's powerful. You have to be insane or crazy to be a part of this rebellion. That's just what it is. That's why he was like, take off the little mask or whatever, cover yourself, and take a deep breath. He's like, you
Yeah.
feel that? That's freedom.
You really do have to be insane because it's like, bro, you are literally going up against a power that's over the whole galaxy. They
Mm-hmm.
have, they're implemented basically everywhere you go. Just like he said with the guy who he had to like off, he been reporting back to the Empire. So it's like no matter where you go, they're always behind or lurking in the shadows. And
Yeah.
did you notice something though? I know it's from the newer movies that we don't really care for, but did you notice that base they was at was the one
Yeah,
that
yeah,
they
yeah,
used
yeah.
when they
Yeah.
relocated?
Uh-huh.
I
Yeah,
saw
I
the
did.
hills. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, I was like, that's from when they had to relocate in the trilogy,
The sequels.
whatever. Yeah, the sequels. So yeah, I was like, that's
Yeah.
cool that they made that connection because it's I always wondered like how did they know about that base and like where it come from, but that was a cool little Easter egg. I did like that, but yeah, getting back to what I was saying, you gotta be insane because this is a different kind of power. Because not only does Palpatine have the old Republic at his hand of all those politicians and
Mm.
senators and governors and all these people working for him, but he has the power of a space station. He's a Sith Lord. He has his apprentice Darth Vader. Like it's all these parts that play in it because some of these people don't even know. That's the scary part about this, and I think we might get it later on. But the scary part about this is a lot of people don't know about Vader. Like
No.
they've heard about it, but everybody think it's like this myth or this like fairy tale that they tell to scare you. So
Mm-hmm.
I always love when people actually see Vader because it's always that old shit look like, oh, he really like he's real.
The craziest part about the was it was they were on that planet with the spiders, right? And the leader was like, Palpatine doesn't know about this stuff. I'm like, Palpatine probably knows a little bit about it, enough to know I ain't messing. I'm not intervening with that.
All he worried about is what he needs to be worried about. Like that little planet, he ain't got time for that. He just sent
Same
like
time.
his lower rank officers over there. Just make sure they don't get out of hand. And that's what
Exactly.
they building like a whole compound there, a
Armory.
factory armory, and I'm like that shows you that he don't care as long as what's supposed to be done is done. Now if they are to blow up that armory, then he'll be like, okay,
I gotta do
y'all
something
need to
about
go
it
over there
now.
and handle that because we don't want people thinking that this is gonna be the norm.
Exactly. So like
That's
I
why
just find
what
it go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say that's why what Biggs did. They got some balls to do that because that's on Coruscant where the Emperor
Yeah.
is. So I'm like,
They
ooh,
were they're like, man, we
ooh.
gotta start this. But I just find it funny that they don't really know who he really is. They're still
Mm-hmm.
like disillusioned by, oh, he for surely doesn't know what's going on. Because if he did,
Yeah.
he'd stop this. It's like that
Mm-hmm.
delusion. They're not there yet. And even Andor was like, they're not ready. And that right
Mm-hmm.
there, that line right there made me go, I was like, they're not ready.
Yeah.
But I didn't like Thrill. Thrill, I hate him. I don't like
Oh,
the
is that
yeah,
Buddy who the
that,
mama's boy?
yeah, him.
And now he's knocking the boots with the girl from the Empire.
Dedra. Yeah, Dedra's. And I'm just like, he's playing both sides and he's infiltrating. And I'm sitting there, you're not going to turn. You're not going to be a rebel now.
He not, bro. And I'm just
Yeah,
like, stop flirting with it. You gonna do it, like, bro? You ain't gonna
exactly.
do it.
Agreed. Like, you ain't
Honestly,
about that life.
I think she would before he would. Old
Yeah,
girl.
I agree. I think because he did get mad at like authority for like telling that he bugged his own office or whatever like that. But I don't think
Mm-hmm.
he like understands like the bigger thing about it. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't understand that it's because you're part of a system that is not a good system that they're always going to suspect anybody from doing anything. There's no trust in it. There's no trust in the system.
Something else, bro.
So,
This show make me despise Krennic even more.
uh,
I didn't like him in Rogue One, but man, is he an asshole in this show. But that's what good is. Like the lines that he says, like the little moments he have, like when they was at the party, I was like,
mm-hmm.
oh, bro, he's so conniving, bro. Like he plays that little fiddle really good. I know, and I think the whole time he's thinking in his head like, oh, wait till y'all see what I got.
Wait
It's
till y'all
gonna
see what I
change.
got for
It's
y'all.
gonna change the motherfucking game. Excuse my French, but I had to say that because
It really is though, because like, and in his line when he was talking about, she was like, "It's a story for this whole people that like champion like not being able to see," and he was like, he said something about some other people that would be great to be on that planet. I was like, "Shut up!" Like, about it. I was like, "Why? Why you gotta be like?"
oh man, I'm like, bro,
I see why
but
Vader choked you a little bit.
because a smart ass mouth.
That's how I refer to him in my notes. I was like the guy that Vader choked. That's how I remember him. I'm like, oh yeah,
Man,
your
bro,
aspirations got you choked out.
they got you choked the out. But yeah, man. So I gotta ask you,
What's up?
um, like now that we got these first two arcs, and it's basically it's almost like watching it's like we watching a movie because we got the beginning, the middle, and then I'm guessing the next three is gonna be the end. What do you see happening? The end result of this season. What do you see? Like characters you think might pop up, moments, what's gonna happen? Because we all know. I'm gonna give you mine real quick.
Okay.
I think what's old boy who plays like the shop. He has a shop and he's with the rebellion.
Oh, you talking about Lutheran? Is it
Yeah,
Lutheran? I
Lutheran.
don't. Yeah, Lutheran. I can't really.
I think Lutheran makes it out of this season.
I think he's gonna do something like grandiose. So I think he's gonna go out with a bang or something like that. I
Yeah,
think
that's what I'm
he
saying.
really
Like
go.
I think he gonna have like a Canaan moment.
Yeah, I think so
It's gonna
too.
be like a sacrifice he gotta make because
He gonna understand that what he got to do this so that the sunrise happens. He's gonna understand that this is his moment.
yep.
Here's my thing. I've been thinking Bix as I don't know if she's gonna make it out this season
I
because
don't think so either.
the way they set up because I don't really remember Rogue One too much, but he don't be seeming like he's missing somebody in that movie.
Yeah, in Rogue One, he really seems like he's cold now, like just
Yeah,
with the rebellion, and he trying to get it done. And that's
he
probably
don't
like you said,
care.
it's probably why because of Bix. Agree with you on that.
Yeah, I think that for sure. Or maybe either she's gonna let's say die or she's gonna leave at some point in time just because of the stress of her like torture.
Mm-hmm.
And he's gonna have to just leave her behind and for her safety just not interact with her anymore and just or he's gonna do something like kill a kid. I think he killed a kid in this part
Yeah.
two. I think he's gonna do more stuff like that to where she's just not gonna be like with it anymore. Like she's gonna lose
Mm-hmm.
that with him. I think she can go either way. She could die or she could live, but I don't see her
Yeah.
being in the last episode or something like that.
Yeah.
For characters coming up, I can't right now. I don't have any that I can think of because I don't
I got
think
one for you.
who
Do
you
you
got.
think? Do you think Galen Erso is gonna show up?
I think so. I think that it depends on. Actually, no, because the timeline would work out perfectly, honestly, because it's ending up right up and with it. So she'd be around. Maybe she's gonna be on like that planet, and we're gonna get like a glimpse of that with her
Yeah.
dad and her family before everything happens. That's just gonna be where it like leaves it, and then Rogue One's just gonna go right into like where we meet her
Yeah.
again.
I'm
I think
thinking.
so for that.
I'm thinking like we're gonna get to see her dad. Like we're gonna get to see Galen either get captured or him like with the plans or something and
Yeah,
sending them to salt. Like I feel like it's gonna be like at the very end. It's gonna be almost like Vader. Also, because we got Bell showing up in the show, do you think Leia will be either name dropped or have a moment like that we'll get to see her.
Mm.
She's definitely a pivotal part at this point in time.
Yeah,
She's actually
agreed.
like doing stuff, and that's what kind of confuses me sometimes when they get in
Mm.
these time periods and they don't use like Luke and Leia. It's like they actually were doing stuff at this time. I'm like, you gonna miss a moment, a big moment, if you don't like
Yeah,
have her at all. Like you have to
you
have
got
her
a
at
name
some point.
dropper. You got a name
Yeah.
dropper, or at the very least, at the end of it, have a Vader scene, have her like appear, because we know based on like pretty much a lot of the series. Because what is it? What Reb? Doesn't Rebels take place during in between that period too? No, does it?
No, Rebels
I
is
always
more
forget
so
this.
before. I think Rebels is like right before all of this
Rebels
because
is
they
before
haven't
before
because
4.
they haven't. It's before Andor and all that because remember they haven't built the Death Star yet.
Okay, so because they didn't have it in
Because
this must
remember,
be, yeah.
remember in Rebels, okay, so in Rebels they haven't built the Death Star. I'm trying to remember. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to remember the time period.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's what
I know
yeah.
how you gonna remember
Okay.
with Obi-Wan and Maul with the fight. Remember, Luke was still a little boy.
Oh yeah.
So I think Rebels is 10 years after Episode 3. So that's 10 years before Andor and all of that. So yeah, that's before all that.
Because then
But
now,
we do know that Leia started doing stuff when she was like in those teenage years. So
yeah,
I think
that's where I'm trying to place it.
Rebels is right before all that. Rebels and Andor match up a little bit
I agree.
as far as what's going on. It like bleeds into it because we did get to see the rebellion start in Rebels. So it's
Yeah,
like
because
it's
that
all
makes
kind of
sense.
yeah.
That makes sense about because I'm thinking about Ahsoka now because we have Ezra and obviously Ahsoka and Sabine and they're like older characters. 'Cause I'm trying to piece them too because they were around that
Yeah.
time, but they were young.
So that yeah, they were younger. So I think yeah, all of that happens. Yeah, all of that happens before Andor because with Andor, it's going into the era of the when the Death Star is getting completed. And
Mhm, yeah.
I think in Rebels it was mentioned, but they just started like really work like getting close to finish. Because even with Episode 3, that's when they started like building it. So in
Hmm.
that whole process, they were working on it. And with Andor, we getting to see that they basically finished with it. They just putting the last few pieces together.
Exactly. So we're not so pretty much at this point in time, but these last few episodes, I guess we're assuming one, Maul is dead. He's
Yeah,
gone.
Maul is gone now. Yeah,
Yeah, I
he's
had to
out the
think about
picture.
that because I'm thinking timeline
Yeah.
wise because last time I think he would necessarily be. Oh no, because he does. Han Solo was before parts of Rebels too. The movie, yeah, which is the Star Wars single story timeline, like the movies, whatever timeline is so confusing sometimes. We gotta place them. You gotta think
So
about it.
you
You're
can
like,
know
when
what's
would
what.
this happen here and here?
So
But because yeah,
because okay, I know exactly how to put it. So with Andor, we just left off. It's 3 years before the battle of right. So
yeah.
that's 3 years before Rogue One.
Okay.
So these last 3 episodes we just left off for
Yeah.
are 3 years before Rogue One. So that will put Leia at 17 because I think she's
Okay. So yeah,
19 at the beginning
yeah.
of the New Hope. So right
Mm.
now, so that's what I'm saying. If it's another year, I'm pretty sure they're gonna have her come up in the
She
show
gonna be
at some
in
point.
somewhere. Yeah, somewhere.
Especially with Mom Mothma because she was part of the rebellion too. Like and all those connections, I'm definitely sure it's gonna come up now because I think at that point she's starting to get into the politics and stuff. I'm pretty sure she comes up. Do you think we're gonna see the Emperor or Vader? Do you think they're gonna appear?
I put more money on. Actually, no, I take it back. I put 50-50 on either the Emperor or Vader showing up. I put 50
So they've been
on
dropping the Emperor's name a lot.
exactly, and I'm surprised they haven't had him in a meeting or something, or him in some kind of like political thing
But
in
I
some
want to
way.
see, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
I just want to see, just for nostalgic and old time's sake. They pan up to Coruscant, where the Jedi Temple and all that used to be, and we see the doors open, and you see his desk in his office where that window
yeah.
is, and his chair's turned around, and one of the Imperial officers come in and just say something like Emperor Palpatine, da da da, whatever the conversation is, and he's just talking to him the whole time with the chair turned to the window, and they just see the back of the chair, and then it like slowly turns around, and you see his face and stuff. And then once he's talking to him, they explaining whatever happened, and then you hear the breathing, and then
Oh
Vader
man,
walks into the frame, and he's Lord Vader. You know how Lord Vader will handle this situation. I have nothing else for you. And then he like send them off, and then I think that's how we'll get. If Vader happens, it's gonna be a situation like that. Something crazy is gonna happen to get his attention. Because right now they just having meetings with him and like getting him caught up with what's going on. This is here, we're here, got this issue. Because right now the Emperor's just focused on the Death Star. Like he
yeah.
ain't worried about nothing else. So I definitely, like you said, I think it's a 50-50. We get both of them because
Hmm.
a lot of these people we name and play a pivotal part in what they're leading up to.
Yeah.
It's really close. I didn't know it was gonna be this close. When I saw like 3 years before the Battle of Yavin, I said, "Oh, like they really finna be like right before Rogue One."
Right before, yeah. So I think I want to see both those characters, but I'm definitely now that you said that, now that you set the scene like that, we're definitely getting Vader, just because he showed up in Rogue One
Mhm.
and he showed up in that one scene and just handles business. He showed up for I guess it's Orson Krillick.
Yeah,
That's
with
him.
with Krennic, yeah,
I refer to him as the guy that gets choked out. So that's his name for you now. So him talking his stuff, they're gonna have a lot of. They're gonna. He has to be dropped at the end of the show, and Leia's gonna be there. Luke, I feel like they're not really. I feel like they're not really gonna show him too much just because he's not
yeah.
really doing too much. They might pan
Hmm.
to Obi-Wan watching him, but other than
Hmm.
that, we're not getting too much. Just
Yeah.
because he's not really playing a part in Andor, the story.
Even like characters, I know they probably won't have them, but like characters like Hera, those type of people, like these are people was involved with the Battle of Scare. Like I'm really like betting on it, like having these people set up, even if we don't see them, name
Yeah.
drops. I definitely think they're gonna mention Jeddah because the fact that we haven't saw and that he left that base. He's
Yeah.
definitely probably going to Jeddah.
Oh,
Like
100%.
most,
Yeah.
so I think that's gonna come up. And then the fact that they were harboring the kyber crystals for the Death Star
Yeah.
from that. So I think a lot of stuff is gonna start bleeding into these last few episodes we finna get to this like
Mm-hmm.
final arc. And it's just so awesome to see it because we got Rogue One so long ago. It's we just getting they just spoiling us now because we get more story. Like I was fine with Rogue One, like just telling us how they got the plans, but now
Oh, 100%.
we get to see the rebellion form, all that stuff we always heard about, what it takes to start a rebellion, what we sacrifice. Now we seeing the sacrifices, and I just love in all how Andor feels like the Star Wars version of Blade Runner. Like the whole thing has gave me Blade Runner vibes. Like the whole time, even to the score, it sounds like Blade Runner.
It
But
does. Yeah.
it's
Definitely.
like you was just saying, it's the fact that we're seeing how much Andor has sacrificed to get to like why he's the person he is. Because he didn't find his sister, the mother and father figure he had that adopted him. He lost both of them.
Yeah.
He couldn't go back home. He didn't see her before she passed. Biggs got caught and tortured. He lost friends. He had to make some crazy decisions. He was in prison.
Yeah.
Like the dude went through a lot. So it's like when you see him in Rogue One, I get why he's so like straight to the point and trying to get stuff done because he know time is running out. We don't have time to make mistakes. I've lost so much. I think he even says it in Rogue One. I've lost a lot too, or something like that. You don't. When he was talking to Jen, he's like, you don't know what this. And I was like, you don't know what this rebellion can do. I was like, bro. Now I see why he's like that. Because at first I was like, man, he a little sour, ain't he? But it makes sense now.
It makes sense. Look at that. Exactly. Like the funny thing is, or the thing is about him going to jail is like he wasn't doing anything and he got caught up and put in jail. And that right there was probably the moment where he was like, okay, this place gotta go. Yeah, that was the moment.
Like we gotta get rid of this situation.
The system didn't benefit him no more. He said, "Oh no, it's gotta go. I'm in jail for no reason."
I was legit just chilling, man. And they locked me up.
Minding my business.
I know who we gonna get to see. KS.
Oh, K2SO?
Droid. K2SO, yeah. K2.
That's one of my favorite droids for sure.
He's definitely popping up.
Oh yeah. He's on the cast. I looked up the cast. He's in the cast, so he's gonna show up.
So I can't.
I'm sure he's gonna be in the first episode of the next weeks. They're gonna drop him real quick.
Yes,
because they gotta get that bond going.
Man, I'm excited, man. I'm loving it. I'm loving how I wish they would do this more with the shows now. Give us arcs, 3 episodes a week, because when you drag it out so long, you got to come back, get the recap, remember what happened. I feel like I'm watching 2. I watched 2 movies, and I love it. I love it.
Same. I think as the more we build this universe, and we've been building the universe for what 40 plus years.
I'll say almost 50 years.
Pretty much. The rewatch that you're gonna have after they've calmed down a little bit, and you watch from 1, 2, 3, everything in between. You got your even Clone Wars, obviously back in 2, but you have your Bad Batch, right? You got your Andor, your Han Solo, your Rebels. You got
Obi-Wan.
You got all these in between. You got 4, 5, 6. Then you got everything. I think Ahsoka takes place.
Yeah, that's after
the sequel era.
Yeah, Mandalorian and Ahsoka is all in the sequel era.
Okay, because I was wondering about that. Okay, so it takes place maybe right before the sequels then. I would assume. So it takes place between 6 and 7.
Yeah.
So you got too much content. It's gonna be a crazy story though. Seeing all that stuff together all at once, it's gonna be a crazy watch. I personally recommend, if you like Star Wars, if you like the more political stuff, the more in your face, the more grounded Star Wars stuff, this is where you want to go, because it's just like so season 1 was very layering it in the plot, and season 2 is we just gonna put a save scene in the first batch of episodes. We letting you know that plain and simple, these are bad guys. There's no pretense. There's no nothing. So it lets people know what time the Empire is on. No?
This is why they're the bad guys. This is why in A New Hope, they have to be taken down. Like, you gotta have that build up, because most of the times we just know people are bad because they tell us they're bad. But to see it, it makes you be like, yes, that had to happen. It had to happen.
And then that is why the First Order was a big threat, because we just got done dealing with the Empire. We were like, we don't want that.
Bro, we just got rid of all this, and they gonna come back? Nah, bro, we gotta ice this.
And then they were even more in your face about that. The sequels were even more in your face about the fascism. They were like,
they weren't hiding it at all.
I was like, whoa.
I was like, damn.
I was like, if you didn't know, now.
Definitely. Yeah, man, like Demetrius said, if you love the politics of Star Wars, which the older audience, the people, for our age and our generation have grown to appreciate the politics more, because we have to deal with it in the real world, so we understand it.
It's almost a mirror at this point.
I'm telling you, it's mirroring what's happening, which is very sad. But yeah, definitely check it out. Even if you have your dislikes, tell us what you didn't like. If you think they're trying to be too real, which I don't understand, because Star Wars was based off of. But I recommend it. Great storytelling, great acting, sets. Look, the production is really good. Shout out to the people in the art department. I know y'all be killing it. I have to
Mhm.
shout out to my peoples because I used to work in that department. But everything about this show is all coming like full circle, and I think it's gonna like be wrapped up, and the bow's gonna be put on there. It's gonna be real good, and
Mhm.
they're satisfying the customers because we are the customers.
Yeah, they are. It's been great. And back on your thing about it being too real, it's always been real. Like even episode 1, 2, and 3 were real. We just didn't understand the politics as a kid. But when
Yeah,
you're an adult and you start watching them,
boy,
you're like, oh man,
I
that,
get it.
yeah, I was like, man,
I
that
can
was
see
some
how a
stuff.
man. I can see how a man can go to the dark side now. Like I get it. Yeah,
Oof.
man. Yeah.
So
So, by the way, celebrating 20 years of Revenge of the Sith, man. Definitely, we have some coming for y'all with that too. So we got to
yep.
celebrate with our viewers because y'all been with us
May 4th
for
coming
four
up
years.
soon.
So we got to celebrate 20 years, and then, like you said, May the 4th. So this is just a big week for Star Wars fans. So
Yep.
we
So
want
look
y'all to
forward to it.
celebrate with us. Yeah. But other
Yeah.
than that, D, do you got anything else? That's all I got,
Nah,
man.
I think we wrapped that up in a tight bow.
I love
And
it.
with that being said, you know what time it is.
It's time for the shameless promotional.
Oh my gosh, we were visited by the Fifth Lord himself.
Man, what? That dude
What
he be
man?
popping up sometime,
He
man. I
come
don't
out
know
of
where he be
nowhere.
coming
Like,
from.
yeah, he came in and dropped that in there. I would shout you out, but you part of the evil people, so we ain't gonna shout you out that much. With that being said, you can always find our content on YouTube at the Square on Table Podcast. And if you like the video, obviously give it a comment on anything about this podcast that we talked about. Did you like Andor? Have you been really rocking with the 3 episode drops that they've been doing? Are you going to rewatch Rogue One after this is done? Are you going to follow through? Let us know. Also, share the video. It gets us out there and more people get to see us, and it really helps us out. And we really appreciate all the support we get every single week from our viewers. We appreciate you guys. Follow us on all the socials except for Twitter, never Twitter or X, never one of those. No,
Yeah.
don't. If you see us on there, that's not us.
It's
No,
not us.
they sit there. And also hit the notification bell on the right side of the video to get notified of our future videos. We make a lot of videos. We make videos at least weekly, consistently. So we'd love for you to join our journey. Just come along with us. We cool around here. The comment section's always civil. So with
Well,
that being said, I'm your host, Dimitri.
I'm your host, Market Mark.
And this has been the Square Roundtable Podcast. We are out. Peace.